I won $1 billion from the lottery, but instead of spending a dime, I gave it all away to a homeless guy living under a bridge. In my past life, after winning the lottery, my husband and best friend urged me to spend the money quickly. I listened to them, went to a car dealership, and bought a new car. Then, I got a real estate agent to find me a villa. But just as I arrived home in my new ride, the car dealership owner and the real estate agent showed up at my door. They were aggressive, demanding payment. I'd already paid, or so I thought. It wasn't until they showed me what I paid with that I realized all my money was ancestor money, fake bills used in rituals. I tried to explain, but my husband and best friend stood against me. Luna, how could you use ancestor money to pay for things? Even if you're scared of being broke, you can't use ancestor money and deceive people. Then my husband wanted a divorce, and my best friend said she couldn't be friends with someone like me. I was stabbed to death by the furious merchants on the spot. After I died, I couldn't figure out why my money had turned into ancestor money. When I opened my eyes again, it was the day I won the lottery. Honey, hurry and redeem your winnings. After taxes, it's 80 million. We can buy a new car and a house. My husband, Brain, was excited in my ear. And just like that, I realized I was reborn. Seeing my hesitation, my husband nudged me urgently. What are you waiting for, honey? Go to the lottery station and redeem it. Opportunities like this don't come twice. I felt a chill run through me. Looking at my husband's familiar face, memories from my past life came flooding back. I said nothing, but with his continued urging, I put on my coat and left. On the way to the lottery station, my heart was in pieces. It wasn't for the 20 million I had to pay in taxes, but because my husband and best friend had conspired against me in my past life. In that life, they pushed me to spend the money quickly, saying that if I kept it, family members would ask for handouts. Considering how lending money ruined so many relationships, it made sense at the time. Listening to them, I contacted a real estate agent and a car dealership to buy a vehicle and a villa. I returned home with the car title and property deed, thrilled. But instead of my husband and best friend, I found myself surrounded by debt collectors at my door. They brought a whole crew, claiming I hadn't paid for my purchases and used ancestor money to deceive them, demanding damages and payment. I was stunned. I had paid with real money, so how could it be ancestor money? Then the real estate agent and dealership manager dumped out 2 big bags of fake bills labeled from Heaven Bank. I tried to argue, saying there must be some mistake. Then, my husband and best friend showed up, blaming me right away. Luna, you're such a disappointment. I can't be friends with someone like you, said my best friend. My husband also wanted a divorce, saying he couldn't be associated with this mess. The final memory was of the angry merchants stabbing me again and again. Honestly, in this life, I don't even want to redeem the lottery ticket, too scared of the trouble it might bring. But then I thought, you can't always be on guard. If I dodge this, something else would come later. With this thought, I went ahead and redeemed my lottery ticket. As soon as I got the money, my husband's call came in right on time. Luna, did you get the money? Go buy the car and house now. The real estate agent and dealership manager are waiting for you to pay. Listening to his eager voice, my heart sank. From my past experience, I knew he was just pushing me to my doom. I still hesitated and asked him in a probing tone, do we really have to buy a car and a house? Why not just put it in a long-term savings account and live off the interest? Sure enough, he got furious. Luna, what's that supposed to mean? Didn't we just agree? 80 million after taxes, 2 million for a Rolls-Royce, 60 million for a villa. I've talked to the sellers already, and now you're backing out? I tried to explain, but we don't really need those things. Our current car is good enough, and our house is more than enough space. Impatiently, he cut me off, I don't care. Luna, listen up. If you don't get those keys and deed, don't bother coming home. We don't need someone like you. Hearing his thinly veiled threats, I felt my last bit of hope vanish. After Brain hung up, my best friend Mary called immediately. Her first line was to persuade me to buy the car and house to appease Brain. Luna, how can you change your mind like that? Guys love cars and houses the most. Your husband has such a small wish, why not fulfill it? Luna, are you seeing someone else? Why else would you refuse to spend on Brain? You can't cheat. As your best friend, I'd be the first to look down on you. Just go pay the bills. They say men change with money, but it looks like it's the woman who's changing here. Mary's endless chatter kept pushing me to make the payment. Seeing their eagerness to ruin me, the last bit of warmth I felt for them faded away. I hung up on Mary before she finished and set my phone to do not disturb. As I walked, I wondered how to use the money without getting into trouble. Then, a homeless man picking his toes on the ground caught my eye. A brilliant idea struck me, and while recording on my phone with one hand, I gave him a check for 80 million with the other. I kept recording until I left the street, then stopped the video and happily headed home. Thought I'd be safe not buying a car or a house this time. But nope, the minute I sipped my hot water at home, loud thuds came at my door. Standing there were the real estate agent and the manager from the car dealership, looking furious. "Luna, you're a scammer taking our money without paying. Give us back our hard-earned cash. Never seen a customer like you. Not only did you not pay, you even gave us that ancestor money. You owe us an explanation today, or we're not leaving." I was totally puzzled. I didn't buy a car or a house, so why are they here? Did something supernatural happen? I shrugged my shoulders. You guys must have the wrong person. I didn't buy a car or a house. I wasn't even in your store, so how could I have given you ancestor money? The agent pulled out phone records. Who said you didn't? These records show your phone number. I leaned over to look. It was indeed my number. But that doesn't mean I bought anything. I explained my thoughts completely. Before the agent could object, the manager from the car dealership sneered. "Luna, I see you're in denial. Lisa, Jack, bring the money Luna paid today. Let everyone see if they're real bucks or ancestor money." Since my place is on a busy street, the scene grew noisy, attracting a bunch of onlookers. They craned their necks, curious, as store employees hauled over bag after bag. I held my breath, watching intently. In the next moment, loads of ancestor money, printed with some heaven and earth bank, floated out as the bags were opened. Wow, it's indeed ancestor money. That's bad luck. Running into this kind of ancestor money, yikes. Gotta rinse off with some pomelo leaves. The crowd screamed and scattered, leaving a large gap around us. I stood at the door, with these fierce store employees and the ancestor money swirling around me. Some onlookers began whispering. "Luna's lived here for years. She seemed decent. How could she do such a shameless thing?" Well, you never truly know someone. Some folks seem alright, but they pull shady stuff behind the scenes. Hearing people take their side, the store folks glared smugly at me. "Luna, all this ancestor money is right here. What do you have to say now?" I sighed. Guess this was inevitable. "You say I paid this ancestor money, but got any proof?" They actually did have evidence. When I questioned them, the agent and manager's faces turned red, as if deeply wronged. "Luna, you sicken me. You think we're as shameless as you? We wouldn't come here without proof of you not paying. Everyone, see if Luna's name isn't written on this ancestral money." The crowd burst into chatter, stooping to pick up the paper money. Seconds later, they started buzzing. "Yep, her name is all over it, every single bill. You think she's got a screw loose? Paying with ancestor money and even writing her name on it." I still wanted to reason with them. Just because my name's on the ancestor money doesn't mean I bought anything. The agent glared sharply. "So you're just gonna deny it?" Seeing he wouldn't listen, I sighed again and produced a pre-recorded video. "Look, it's not that I won't admit it. I've got proof. That big lottery win? I didn't keep it. I gave it away to a homeless man." The crowd was wide-eyed, incredulous. "What? Gave away a lottery win? That's huge, even after taxes." "No way, that's unbelievable. Luna's just like us, ordinary. How could she just give that to a beggar?" I quickly showed the video of me giving a check to a homeless man. Seriously, it wasn't me. I lifted my phone high, making sure everyone could see it clearly. After watching, the crowd looked skeptical. Luna gave away the check, but she could have easily taken it back after the video. Yeah, who knows if she really left it with him. Hearing their doubts, the car dealership manager and the agent smirked. "Your evidence proves nothing. But our store's surveillance caught you paying with several bags of ancestor money. Curious onlookers gathered around to watch. I stared in disbelief because on the surveillance, it was really me, confidently making the purchase and handing over the bags. I genuinely felt like I'd seen a ghost. Seeing me lost for words, the agent and manager were smug. "Luna, better settle this now, or we'll call the police and you'll rot in jail." The crowd chimed in. "Yeah, lock her up, teach her a real lesson." Just then, my husband and best friend showed up. After figuring out what was going on, my husband looked at me with disappointment, like he did in a past life. "Luna, I know you're scared of being poor and always want to save money when shopping, and I get that. But you can't buy stuff worth millions and not pay for them. Tricking people with all that ancestor money is just too much. I can't have a wife like this. I want a divorce." Even my best friend wiped her tears and added, "Luna, how did you become so materialistic? You won the lottery and made a lot, but you don't want to pay up, letting innocent employees take the hit. Luna, you're becoming someone I don't recognize, a stranger to me." In just a few words, my husband and best friend, people closest to me, painted me as a cheat who buys without paying. One was my husband, the other my best friend, yet they felt like strangers because of their actions. The commotion attracted a cop from the crowd. Seeing the cop, the car dealer, the broker, and even my husband and best friend said, "Officer, thank goodness you're here. Arrest that person who uses ancestor money." Instead of following their demand, the cop handcuffed the car dealer, the broker, and both my husband and best friend right there. "What are you doing, officer? Luna's the one you should arrest. Isn't there some mistake?" Everyone looked baffled. The cop replied, "No mistake. Someone reported this, and I've fully investigated." "If you've fully investigated, why not arrest Luna and arrest us instead? What time did Luna come to your store?" The cop asked instead of answering. 9 a.m., 11 a.m. The broker and car dealer chimed in unison. The cop smirked, "There you go. Luna was with me the entire time then." At this, a young couple and a shaken child emerged from the crowd. They bowed down to me on the spot. "Thank you, Miss Luna. Without you, our child might have drowned today." Watching the couple with their child bow at me, the car dealer, broker, my husband, and my best friend were even more confused. What on earth is going on? The cop, seeing their puzzled look, explained. "It was 9 a.m., I was patrolling near the city moat when I saw this child fall into the water. Just as I was preparing to rescue, Luna jumped in bravely, risking her life, and saved the kid. It took 2 hours. Without Luna, a life would have been lost." People around us looked wide-eyed, unsure how the situation turned into this. Someone hesitantly asked, "Officer, are you saying Luna's a hero for saving this child's life?" The cop nodded. Summer is a high-risk season for kids falling into water, and the railing near the moat is old. This kid was curious about the water and slipped. I can't swim well, even if I jumped in, I might not have saved him. We owe it to Luna. After saving the kid, I took them back to the station and called the kid's parents to pick him up. I was just returning Luna in my patrol car, parked at the end of the street. Everyone looked towards where he pointed, indeed seeing a police car parked there. The cop added, "Luna invited me in for some water, but I got a call from the kid's parents. They had made a banner to thank her. So I waited at the corner for the family and didn't come with Luna right away. I didn't expect that in just 20 minutes, Luna would be accused of being a cheat who doesn't pay." As he finished, the look in people's eyes changed from doubt to admiration and shame. I didn't know Luna was a good person, we judged her too quickly. The moat has a strong current. Anyone willing to jump in without regard to their safety to save a child can't be a bad person. There must be a misunderstanding. Look at Luna, her clothes are still wet. She didn't even change when she got home. With the cop vouching for me, everyone was convinced I indeed gave my lottery check to a beggar and hadn't taken it back. After all, the cop mentioned, since saving the kid, I'd been with them non-stop, only getting home in the patrol car, with no time alone. Now, the compliments weren't just about heroics but also praised me for not being greedy. If it were me, I couldn't give a lottery check to a beggar. It's just too much money. I couldn't do it either, which shows how selfless Luna is. We really judged her wrong. Yeah, I trust Luna isn't someone who doesn't pay. She wouldn't do that. People quickly chimed one after another, concluding I wouldn't do anything so wrong. I took a deep breath. Having memories of a past life, I knew about the child falling into the water and rushed to save them right after handing the check to the beggar. Thank goodness I went, or it'd be like trying to prove innocence with no proof. On the other hand, unlike the praising bystanders, the manager of the 4S shop and the broker wore expressions of anger, faces bright red. Feeling everyone's eyes on them, the broker looked embarrassed. Even if you saved someone and gave money to a beggar, that doesn't prove you weren't at the store. Hearing this, the manager straightened up. Exactly. You ordered a Rolls-Royce at our shop and then paid with so much ancestor money to insult us. We have video evidence of everything. Luna, you can't just not pay for your order at our shop because you've saved people before, can you? The manager and agent kept throwing accusations at me, insisting I paid with ancestor money, without any logical reason. My husband rolled his eyes, thinking of something, and stepped in. I can vouch that Luna planned to buy a house and a car. This morning, I asked her to get her lottery ticket, and she was all excited about buying a mansion and a sports car. My best friend nodded too. Luna even bragged over the phone, saying she won $1 billion in the lottery and would become super rich, ready to enjoy life to the fullest. As she spoke, she played a recording. I won't pay those two foolish bosses. If I just played rich, they wouldn't dare count the money on the spot. When the time comes, I'll just leave a few bags of ancestor money and leave. The car keys and property deeds are mine. Let them go after Heaven Bank for the money. My best friend was disagreeing. Luna, how could you do that? The things you bought cost millions. The agent and the manager are just workers. Your actions could harm them. I replied with a voice full of disdain. So what? I won $1 billion in the lottery. I'm a billionaire, not the same as those working class folks. If they didn't check the money properly at the shop, isn't there a saying about not protesting after leaving the counter? Their negligence is why the shop has a huge deficit. It's not my fault. My best friend got angry, her words stuttering. Luna, this is outrageous. I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Get out, I never want to see you again. I responded with mocking laughter. That's hilarious. No wonder you'll never be rich, feeling sorry for two losers. Didn't I say it? If they want money, they should ask Heaven Bank. They dare to ask me for money, why don't they just drop dead? After these words, the recording ended, and the atmosphere was dead silent. Bystanders looked at me and my friend Mary with wide eyes, shocked at what they'd heard. My husband Brian had a smug glint in his eyes. Luna, I never thought you'd be so dark and antisocial behind the scenes. Before winning the lottery, you were just another worker. How could wealth turn you so twisted? After saying that, he followed up with, Officer, you're a cop. Now there's even more evidence of Luna not paying. Let us go, and arrest her. The shop manager and agent nodded eagerly. Yes, officer, you can't just let her off because you know her, can you? She bought a luxury car and mansion from us and then gave the lottery ticket to a beggar. Isn't that a scam? Officer, you are supposed to be impartial, right? Their questioning put the officer in a tough spot. The officer gave me a look but didn't say anything. To Brain and the bystanders, his gesture appeared as hesitation and silent acknowledgement. Brain pulled out a pre-prepared divorce agreement. Luna, here's the divorce agreement. Sign it, and we're done. Get out of the house. I glanced at it, and despite reading only a few lines, I couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity. The agreement demanded I leave with nothing. How ridiculous. Brain was from a rural area with parents who were farmers, unable to afford city housing. My parents initially opposed our marriage. I convinced them Brain was dependable, tall, and strong. That's why they reluctantly agreed. Post-marriage, Brain and I moved out to live in the street front house my parents bought for me. Though the area had older houses, a redevelopment was planned, promising 2 new apartments and millions in compensation for each household. In my previous life, just after telling Brain about the news and before I got to celebrate, I won the lottery. Good fortune seemed to keep coming, making me ecstatic, thinking the tides had turned for us. To avoid unwanted attention from rural relatives who might ask for money once they heard about compensation, I decided to spend the lottery win on a villa and luxury car instead. If we didn't have cash on hand and kept quiet about the demolition compensation, his relatives wouldn't seek us out. I decided to purchase everything brand new. We'd move to a big city villa and get the Rolls-Royce Brain always talked about. After those purchases, there'd be little left of the post-tax $800 million. As for my parents, I had plans. We could live on the third floor of the 3-story villa, and my parents, being older with mobility issues, could live on the first. The second floor would be a common space, where our families could dine together but retreat in privacy, avoiding awkwardness. Any leftover money would fund a family trip, letting us explore our great country's beauty. I had everything planned out, but reality caught me off guard. In my previous life, right after I had made the payment, before I could even call my parents to share the good news, the manager from the car dealership and the real estate agent rushed in and stabbed me without a word. Thinking about this, my thoughts slowly came back to the present. I caught a glimpse of Brian and Mary making eyes at each other, and my stomach churned uncontrollably. What a pair of scheming adulterers. These two had received so much help from me over time, one was my best friend, the other my husband, yet they were secretly plotting my death together? Alright, in this life, let's see who ends up dead. Seeing the officer standing there, Brian couldn't help but rush him. Officer, the evidence is solid. Why are you just standing there? Let us go and arrest Luna, the bad guy. The car dealership manager and the real estate agent folded their arms, looking at me. Luna, if you pay us now, we might let this go. But if you keep saying you didn't buy the villa and Rolls-Royce, then we'll have to settle this at the police station. Passers-by, bewildered, stayed silent, watching how things would unfold. Meanwhile, Brian sneered repeatedly, Luna, just sign the divorce papers. You're going to jail anyway. The house in your name is useless. You might as well give it to me. As for your parents, out of respect for our marriage, I'll check on them occasionally. I was about to vomit from his sickening pretense. Seeing they had nearly played all their cards, I decided there was no need to pretend anymore and showed the passers-by the demolition notice for our place. Everyone, take a look. Brian's rushing the divorce because my place is getting demolished, and he wants my compensation. And the most important thing is, if I was buying things with so much cash, wouldn't the surveillance cameras catch me on the way? If you think the footage I have isn't convincing, then we can get the traffic department to pull footage from street cameras and see if I ever went to the car dealership or the real estate office. My words made sense, and the passers-by started nodding. Yeah, they both have footage as evidence, but neither is backing down. If that's the case, why not just ignore their evidence and look for a third party's proof? Traffic cameras are official. There's no way they can falsify that. Let's check that out. Yeah, let's go see it now. Excited, the crowd was ready to follow me to the traffic department to pull the footage. The officer offered to make a request for me, saying it could all be settled by noon. I nodded gratefully at him and turned to look at Brian and Mary. They were sweating bullets, their eyes wide open. Brian stammered, Luna, it's nothing serious. Do you really need the traffic department involved? Having the officer make requests is just wasting resources. Mary nervously chimed in. Yeah, Luna, it's unnecessary. Making this a big deal isn't good for your reputation either. People will know you didn't pay for items, and it went official. The car dealership manager and the agent were sweating too. The agent, with shifty eyes, said, forget it. I'll just eat this loss. You haven't moved into the house, so let's say you never bought it. The dealership manager added, I forgot I didn't give you the car keys, so let's say the deal isn't done. You didn't buy anything without paying. We won't mention it again. Before I could say anything, a kid's parents in the crowd stepped up for me. Mrs. Smith was feisty, ripping into them with words. Guess you got to say everything. From the start, you accused Miss Luna of not paying for goods, said she paid with ancestor money to insult you, complained about losing your jobs. If she didn't get the car keys or the deed, then the deal's incomplete. Why the rush? You all claimed Miss Luna stubbornly refuses to pay, now's the perfect time to handle it officially, so let them rule fairly. The agent wasn't happy. I've said let's drop it as a misunderstanding. Why push it? The dealership manager wanted out, what bad luck. We shouldn't have come. I noticed their glances toward Mary and Brian. Now, they couldn't leave if they wanted to. I started suspecting their connections. I crouched down, pretending to cry. I don't want to live anymore. They slandered me, won't even let me clear my name. I don't want to live. Officer, don't hold me back. Let me die, they want me dead anyway. Mom, Dad, please post this online if I die. The dealership manager and real estate agent are driving an innocent consumer to death. Intentionally making a scene, I wanted to blow it up as much as possible. The bigger it got, the more attention I received, as the crowd buzzed, encircling the manager and agent, preventing them from leaving. The officer took out his phone, making a call to who knows who. Yes, Chief, we've got a case here. We'll need traffic department support for footage. Involves tens of millions, case nature is bad, may even need SWAT if it gets worse. Before he finished his sentence, two cries interrupted him. Turns out, the agent and manager were drenched in sweat. Their legs gave way, and they quit the act. I'm done. We're not playing anymore. They snapped, glaring at Mary. You said we'd breeze through this, didn't mention SWAT involvement. Now, it was Mary's turn to look stunned. As soon as the agent and manager finished speaking, they tried to run, but the officer, who was ready, kicked them to the ground. The manager was sweating. Don't hit me. Don't arrest me. I'll tell you everything. I'm just hired to act. The agent, scared of getting caught, spilled everything too. Turns out, the agent and manager were actually Mary's relatives. The surveillance video was AI generated by them in advance. To clear himself, the agent even admitted to using AI face-swapping technology. The one paying with ancestor money was actually Mary, but we swapped the face, so the final video showed Luna. What I'm saying is true. If you don't believe me, look at the woman's manicure in the video. Isn't it exactly like Mary's? Everyone turned their gaze to Mary and saw her trying to hide her hands. I stepped forward and grabbed her hand, revealing the nail art with rhinestones. In the sunlight, the rhinestones sparkled, clear for everyone to see. With that, the truth was out. The officer pulled out handcuffs to arrest Mary. Mary panicked, casting a resentful look at the agent and manager. How could you betray me? We had an agreement. The agent sneered, you said you'd give us $5 million each, but you didn't mention the cops would get involved. And besides, you got $80 million from the lottery. You were gonna give us just $1 million each and keep $70 million for yourself. Do we look like fools to you? The manager nodded, high risk, low reward. Even a dog wouldn't do this. Mary turned to Brain for help, but Brain just kept pleading with me. Luna, I was wrong to accuse you before. You haven't signed the divorce papers yet, have you? Let's not get divorced, okay? Seeing the panic in his eyes, I wasn't buying it at all. I turned to the crowd. You all saw it, right? My husband and my best friend ganged up to frame me. If I hadn't been lucky, I'd be doomed. Tell me, should I divorce him? Should he get lost? The response was a chorus of divorce him and kick him out. Brain tried to plead more, but Mary, angry at being abandoned, lashed out too. Brain, you're the one who told me about Luna's family and the lottery win. You suggested we pull a heist together. It was all your idea. Why should you escape punishment? Officer, I want to report Brain. Well, that did it. The same handcuffs found their way onto Brain's wrists. Before leaving, the officer called me aside. He pulled out that check. I was stunned. Is this? The officer smiled. I know you meant well giving money to the beggar, but he's in my district. I know he's mentally ill. He wouldn't have used the money. So, I swapped the check for a roasted chicken when I left. You should have seen how happy he was. As for this check, it's yours. Take it back. I couldn't believe my eyes. Honestly, I hesitated a lot when I handed over the check, reluctant to part with the money. $80 million is a lot, more than I'd ever seen before. But thinking of past regrets, I gave it away, hoping to change someone's life for the better. Never expected the check to be back in my hands. I thanked the officer. Thank you, officer. You're truly a good person. He smiled and nodded, just doing my duty. Saying this, he didn't linger, escorting Brain and the others to the car with his colleagues. I waved him off with a smile, grateful for my second chance at life. Later on, I really did buy a big house and had the beggar, a lovely elderly lady, move in with us. When she's lucid, she tells my parents and me stories from her youth. The officer became a regular visitor, bringing gifts and visiting my parents and the old lady. Eventually, of course, we got married. In this life, I've had it really good.